Hello everyone, I'm Johann Escobar, and today I'm joined by Houston legend and icon, Jim McIngvale, or Mattress Mack. First off, thank you so much for...
Hi, Johann. Great to have you here.
Yes, so...
You're from Straight Jesuit High School.
I am, yes.
Were you there when I talked last year?
I did, yes, I was there.
How did I do?
You did great.
Okay, so I like you already.
That was
Here
inspiration. So, obviously, you're well known, super successful, but this interview is going to be looking into, before all that, who you were and how you kind of built that.
Okay.
So I'm 17, and when people ask me about my future and what I think it looks like, I have to say I have no idea. And so when you were my age, did you have like a vision that you wanted?
When I was 17, I was going to Bishop Lynch High School in Dallas, Texas. My father founded that school in 1963, and I was an aspiring football player. And I got a football scholarship at the University of Texas. Played there in 1969 and 1970 when they won 30 straight games, 2 consecutive national championships. And I was aspiring to be a professional football player. But at the University of Texas, I only had 2 small problems playing football. I was too small, too slow, and the position I played was called the bench. So about around that time, I started figuring I better do something else.
So during your time at UT, what did you major in?
I majored in football and girls. I took business classes.
You took business
School
classes?
really didn't inspire me as much as other things inspired me. So, but I had a good time at University of Texas, and I went to North Texas for 2 years. Played football there too. After that, I was on my own. I had to hit the ground running and find a way to make some money.
So, if you could go back and give yourself some piece of advice for your college self, what would it be?
Not change a thing.
No, change a thing.
Not
Perfect.
change a thing. My college self, maybe I would have applied myself more. I think probably I should have took some finance courses, but had a good time at University of Texas, learned a lot. Had a good time at North Texas, learned a lot. So in my life, I always look forward. I don't look back. I've made a lot of good decisions, made some bad decisions, but you know what? They've all shaped who I am.
Of course. So, if I'm correct, you moved down here from Dallas, right?
I did.
To buy this
little
location.
enterprise,
Yes.
yeah.
So when you first started Gallery Furniture, did you envision it to be this big?
When I first started Gallery Furniture, my wife and I came down here from Dallas, and we had, I told the story a million times that we had $5,000. She corrected me when she heard me tell it one time. We had $3,500. And we came down here in April of 1981. There was some abandoned model homes out there where they sold model homes to people out there on the freeway, and it was abandoned model home park, and we rented this model home park. The only problem was there were these homeless people living there. They'd been living there for a couple of years, and they had no water, no electricity, so it was quite messy when we got here, but you know, you do what you have to do and you enjoy the price. We started out with $3,500. We cleaned the place up. We started selling furniture, and still 45 years later, I'm still at it. I'm delighting customers. That's what it's all about. It was not unusual at all back then for us to, I worked a lot then. I don't work quite as much now, especially since I had a heart attack a couple years ago. I now only work half-time, Johann. Half-time is 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But
Heard you say that before.
Yes, and so anyway, it was not unusual at all for us to sell out of furniture out there on a Saturday night, and I had a U-Haul truck. I would get in the truck and drive it up to Dallas, meet my friend at his store at 1 o'clock in the morning, buy $10,000 worth of furniture from him, bring it back down here and sell it on Sunday. You do what you have to do if you want to be an entrepreneur, and you don't pay the price, you enjoy the price. Work is life's greatest therapy. That's my mantra.
Great. So during creating it, was there a stretch of times where it felt uncertain, like starting this and selling?
Every day, every hour, every minute to this day, how are we going to make payroll tomorrow? You know, we're not funded by the government. We're not funded by anybody. We're funded by our great customers. So you got to get up and do the free enterprise thing every day. And if you love to do it, it's a great life. If you don't love to do it, find a job you love to do, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. My pitch is work is life's greatest therapy.
Perfect. So, yeah, I think you've built a reputation for outworking almost everyone. Mm-hmm. And where does that drive come from?
It comes from my grandfather. He was a German immigrant, lived in Alabama, built the entire town, built the entire Catholic Church with him and his people. And he was a worker till the day he died. I think he died. He was about 85 years old, and he was a great influence on me, as was my father. But my grandfather and his Germanic work ethic certainly, I got a lot of that in me.
So my grandfather's actually German too, and he moved down here to Houston. I think when he was about my age. So I hear a lot about like how much work
How
he
much
put.
struggle was.
Yes,
Good for
exactly.
you. Good
And
for you.
so I think I relate to a lot to what you
Good,
just said
good.
because yeah, that motivation to just work hard is something I hear every day. And it's like the days I'm lazy and the days I don't want to get out of bed. That's what I have to think about. And so I'm really glad you said that.
You know who Willie Shoemaker was?
No, I don't know.
He was a great American horse jockey. He won lots of Kentucky Derbies and stuff. And they asked him what the difference was when he was coming up and after he got successful. He said, when you go to bed broke and naked, you got to jump out of the bed in the morning and go to work. When you go to bed in silk pajamas, it's easy to sleep all day.
Yeah. So was there something specific that motivates you to work as hard as you do? Obviously, to work, you have, like you said, to survive, to create something, but was there something other than just that motivates you?
Yeah, it's always been a greater calling. One of my mentors, W. Edwards Deming, if you haven't heard of him, you should study him. He rebuilt Japan after Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And he said we all have a responsibility for the well-being of the community. That's a very Catholic statement.
Yes.
I don't know if he was a Catholic, but it's a very Catholic statement. We all have our well-being for the we all have a responsibility for the well-being of our community. So, you know, a lot of these kids that work here, they don't have much education. They're struggling. They probably didn't have any great parental influence. And this community that we've established here is their family, their life, and it's really something. So not only am I here to make a lot of money, we are here, more importantly, to make a big difference. And we're trying to do that every day. And I live by that motto and stand by it. My father was a giver beyond extraordinary.
Yes.
One time we were playing the Little League games, and he sponsored all the teams. And one of the parents said to him, they said, the only reason you sponsor these teams because your kids are on it. He said, no, I sponsor the teams because I'm going to help all these kids. And one of my favorite stories about my father was he helped this guy named Jim Rager get through Bishop Lynch High School. He was in the first graduating class. And then my father, who was a football fanatic, got Jim a scholarship to Dartmouth University. So Jim went off to Dartmouth University for the freshman year, did real well, blah, 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 played football, came back home for for Christmas break, and then he couldn't get back to Dartmouth. The family had no money.
Right.
And he was going to lose this amazing Ivy League education. So my father was readily much afraid of flying. He put him in the car, drove him all the way to Dartmouth University, and fast forward, Jim Rager ended up number 3 guy at the World Bank of Canada. Tells that story about all the time about how my father helped him. That's the responsibility to make a difference.
So a little bit about me. I'm starting my own clothing brand. It's called Bunnies on the Move, and I'm wearing some of it right now. And so one of the first things I realized when I started this was that I have to give back. And so I do things where I go speak at my old middle school about confidence and about motivation. And this is something else that I'm doing. And so do you think giving back is the key for any business?
I think having a good idea is the key, and marketing is the key. I think giving back comes with it, but giving back's wonderful, but you also got to make a profit. So
right.
You got to put making a profit before and then give back after. So they go hand in hand, but you got to make a profit first.
Okay.
You got to have a great product that people want.
So kind of switching gears is you've made some very public bets and business decisions. And so my question is, when do you decide to take the risk?
When it's topical for Houstonians, you know, when the Astros are competing for the World Series like they were a couple of years ago, not so much this year, then it makes sense to do. If Astros win it all, you get your money back, or if it's the some other thing that's on people's mind, like UT winning the national championship. So we're not doing any right now, but next time a Houston team gets hot, we'll probably do that, and it makes it fun to buy furniture and brings in some extra customers.
Yes. So when it gets like to moments like that where a Houston team or a Texas team has a chance to go win, or is the decision take you a long time to make, or is it quick? Do you know right away?
I'm ready, fire, aim.
Yeah. Okay.
There's not a lot of analytics in me. I'm ready, fire, aim. It's probably a strength and also a weakness, but I make quick decisions. Kind of like I was standing out here I woke up a Sunday morning driving to work, and the freeway was flooded and everything was flooded. And I finally got here, and that was Hurricane Harvey day. And all these people were calling saying, come get us, we're going to drown. And so we had 15 or 20 employees here, got all these high box trucks. So I sent these guys out to pick up these people, and we picked them up all over Houston up to 6 foot full of water.
Yeah.
And people say, how could you do that? Well, I just made a quick decision. It was better to help our people than worry about liability, because we weren't going to let our people drown. We ended up having a couple hundred people stay here 2 or 3 days, and they act like that's miraculous or something special to do. That's the way I was brought up. We all have a responsibility for the well-being of the community. If not me, who? If not now, when? If not together, how?
So you were always that way to where you would just take risks, okay, yeah.
Life's a risk. Driving down the freeway every day is a risk. Columbus took a gamble, so can we.
So how do you handle the pressure when millions of dollars, or I guess even like the future of the company, is on the line?
Day by day, just to keep doing what I do.
Just worry about something.
Day by day. It's a process, not an event.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do the process right and get up and take care of those customers every day, it's all going to work out.
Speaking of the community and stuff, I've heard that you serve your employees breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, right?
We do.
And so, did you always want to do that? Was that always like a goal for you to kind of help?
One of the problems in this country is a severe lack of community. Severe. In 1900, the average size of a U.S. household was 10.5 people.
Wow, did not know that.
10.5 people. The current average size of a U.S. household is less than 2. Yes. And what is 1? 1 is the loneliest number. These people are lonely. They're heartbroken. They're afraid. But when we get those employees together, we have a rule: you can't have a cell phone or iPad or anything in that lunchroom. You have to actually talk to the person sitting next to you. Imagine that. And all of a sudden they make a friend over here. Then they get another friend over there. Then we have a problem. This guy over here, this girl over here has dealt with that problem. Tell them how to deal with the problem. Then when their car breaks down, rather than calling in saying, I'm not going to make it to work today, they find a way to get to work because they want to let their friends down at the dinner table. So you build a sense of community. That's what this country lacks, is a sense of community. That's what, straight Jesuit does so well. It builds a sense of community. And the Catholic Church, done well, builds a sense of community and has those parishioners involved. That's what my parents, they were all about family, faith, and community. Nothing else mattered. Yes. Family, faith, and community, that was them.
Would you say that when you started this, money was the personal driver, or I guess your driver for creating?
My personal driver was I didn't want to fail.
Okay.
I super high fear of failure, great motivator, and I came down here from Dallas, going to start this business, my wife and I, and a lot of people said we weren't going to make it. Well, don't tell me that it's impossible until after I've already done it.
Right.
So that's the whole idea. If somebody's going to be an entrepreneur, they have to have a high failure quotient, and you're going to fail forward fast and make a lot of mistakes. But if you hang in there, good things will happen.
So would you say that not wanting to fail was still in your mind today, even as Gallery Furniture is so successful?
Absolutely, every day.
Really?
Every day. Every day I'm out here for these customers. New challenges, new issues, new problems every day. You got to roll with the punches, deal with them, and dust your pants off, put your big boy, big girl pants on, and get in the game another day.
So from when you started this, and obviously the early years of it, would you say that your definition of success has changed, or no?
Not really.
No.
Still the same person, just take care of the customers, take care of the employees, take care of the community, and get up, go to work, and make something out of your life. When I was a kid, I was broke, and I watched this, even though I was a practicing Catholic, I watched the Oral Roberts broadcast. He was a big television evangelizer, and I'll never forget, he said, there's a lot of you out there in television land today that are throwing your lives away. He said, you're wallowing in the throes of self-pity. He said, you feel sorry for yourself. You feel like the world owes you a favor. He said, let me tell you something. The world doesn't owe you a favor. You owe the world a favor. He said, get up, go to work, and make something out of your life. And that was a seminal event in my life. I remembered it all my life. Get up, go to work, and make something out of your life. And that sermon needs to be preached to about lots of Americans who are feeling sorry for themselves, because if they get up and find a job they love to do, they'll find life's greatest meaning. Work brings purpose and meaning to life. If they're involved in meaningful work, their life has meaning.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm very faith-centered too, and so I feel like, obviously, I see a lot today. Obviously, strict Jesuit is very good, but I see a lot to where there's not a lot of faith.
Uh-huh.
And how important is that for you?
A faith that challenged him to do his best, even indeed especially when it was difficult. My faith has always been there for me. It never abandoned you like a girlfriend that runs out with somebody else. It's always there for you. So it's always something that's your rock of Gibraltar. It's your touchstone. It's your happy place. So God's always there protecting us, and he's going to help us win in the end if we just stay with him.
Yeah. So a lot of younger people watch these interviews, and so do you see any difference between, like, obviously I'm sure you do, but our generation now and you?
You know, every generation has its own stuff. You know, obviously social media is a big change, this and that. But all these kids that go to these schools, they're great. They just want somebody to believe in them. And again, to me, if I was president of the United States, I'd find a way to put more people to work and let more people find that job they love to do, and that would fulfill them in life. I'll give you a good example. I buried this friend of mine the other day named Ellis Williamson.
Okay.
He died at the ripe old age of 103 years old. He was in the Air Corps. That was the predecessor to the Air Force in World War II. He was a gunner on the airplane. Flew 2 missions on D-Day. And then he flew missions bombing all over Germany. And when you complete your 50th mission over there during World War II, you got to come home. So he's on his 50th mission.
Wow.
He's on his 50th mission. His airplane gets shot down. 6 people on the airplane, 3 dead. He's one of the 3 alive. They parachuted out, landed in 6-foot deep snow in Germany, and the German soldiers were there pointing their guns at him. So when he landed, he weighed 185 pounds. After they force-marched him for 6 months and they ate snow and grass for 6 months, when the Allies liberated him, he weighed 125 pounds.
Wow.
He's the greatest generation. And then he came back to Houston, and he was an entrepreneur and a salesman all his life. He sold paint all over Houston. And he retired 3 times. And every time when he retired, he wanted to go back to work. So he retired, went back to work. Retired, went back to work. His final 10 years of his work life, when he was 78 years old till he was 88, he was a truck driver across the country. And the only reason he stopped working because they wouldn't insure him anymore. He was so old. And he died when he was 103 years old. Every year I would go down with this guy to MD Anderson, and he'd give him a big check every year because he was a huge MD Anderson supporter. They came out with the cigarettes were bad for your health, and he gave up cigarettes, saved his life, blah, blah, blah. And he died on Memorial Day, and fittingly, he was buried on D-Day last Saturday. Wow. That's the greatest generation. That's what we all need to aspire to. Somebody like him giving when he was 103 years old.
Wow. So you've said that work is life's greatest therapy, correct? And I think now a lot of people kind of look down on work. And how do you avoid that? Like, is it a shift in mindset?
I got a little daughter. Her name's Elizabeth. When she was like in the 6th grade, 7th grade, she kept doing all these strange rituals and compulsions and washing her hands hours a day and this and that. And her mother, I couldn't figure out what it was. So we took her all these psychiatrists in the North Houston area, and they all said they'd never seen such a severe case before of obsessive compulsive disorder, Howard Hughes disease, a severe mental illness. And they all said there was no hope for this child.
Oh, wow.
They said take her and put her in a mental institution so it doesn't affect your lifestyle. Really? But you see, my wife and I, we ain't buyers, we're sellers. And so we kept looking. And Linda lived upstairs with Liz in our house for 2 years because she would scream every night, God, what did I do to deserve this? I wish I was dead.
Wow.
And she'd get a butcher knife and give it to her beloved sister and beg her to kill her. It was hell on earth. But we never gave up. We kept the faith. And so we finally found the Menninger Clinic in Kansas, took her up there and left her there one cold, miserable, snowy day there in Kansas. And she's screaming at her mother, Mom, please don't leave me here. She said, I'll do better. Take me back home. And her mother, I wanted to take her back home, but her mother said, you got to stay. And that saved her life. She came back to Houston, re-enrolled at Westfield High School, and then Menninger moved to Houston, and she had several more relapses and went back to Menninger several times because, you see, mental illness is a cruel disease.
Yep.
No one knows who it may strike or why. Mental illness never goes away. It lasts forever. My child will always be walking on the edge of a cliff. I cannot keep her from falling. So anyway, in and out bouts with OCD and mental illness, it never went away. Then finally one day she found out that by helping other people with this disease, she helped herself. And she found her life's calling, which is work. And she ended up getting a PhD from the University of Houston. And now she has an OCD clinic in the Heights where they have like 20 inpatients, lots of outpatients. And she's become one of the premier OCD therapists in the world, even though she still has the disease. But that work is her life's greatest therapy. Work saved her life.
So do you think it's finding something that you love to do?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And don't get embarrassed if you try 10 or 12 jobs. Who cares?
Yeah.
Find the one that makes you get out of bed in the morning. And it doesn't have to be a job that your parents approve of or somebody else approves of. It's got to be the job that rings your bell and say, I can't wait to get to work in the morning.
Right.
Because if you dread going to work, it ain't going to be good.
And so earlier you said that if you were president, you would give more people jobs.
Well, I look back at the Franklin Roosevelt, those jobs they created, they work where they built the infrastructure in the United States, all the roads, all of this, all of that, and our infrastructure is tearing up, and we're chasing foreign wars. Why don't we put our American people to work and let our citizens get some meaningful work and rebuild the infrastructure at the same time, rather than spending $1 billion a day somewhere else?
So I have to ask, do you know much about AI, artificial intelligence?
Lots.
You know it?
Lots.
What's your view on it?
It's good for commercials. It's much smarter than me. I'm good with AI. Me and Chat talk all the time. Chat knows me better than I know myself. And I give Chat like 10 or 12 bullet points for a speech, and it spits it out. It's amazing. And then I still dilly with it, but Chat's really good. And what's AI going to do? It depends on how we manage it.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on how we manage it. I'm not at all in favor of these data centers that come in and buy 1,000 acres worth of farmland and then take the money and they build some giant data center that raises everybody's electrical rates around there by 50%, and they pollute the air and all this other stuff. I'm not in favor of that. So AI needs to have some intelligent people regulate it, but it's badass smart, that's for sure.
So if you had to restart everything, gallery furniture again, would you use AI?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Why not? Yeah. I mean, it's just a tool. It's like everything else. It's like we used to have these warehouse guys get hurt all the time, and then they got better tools like dolly carts and this and that, and now they don't get hurt very rarely, knock on wood, so because they're using better tools. AI is just a tool. It's not an end all, it's a tool.
Okay. So I think for me, I see it as, because I'm in school, and so I see a lot of it as like a lot of people I know have become too dependent on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so what do you think is the best way to avoid that?
I think use it pretty sparingly.
Okay.
Use it pretty sparingly. Don't use it to do your homework, do this and that, and you learn nothing. You got to learn independently, but as far as something to help clarify your thinking or something to investigate that you don't know much about, do it. I got a problem with my hip, so I asked AI all about it, gave me all this stuff, and it turned out to be pretty good advice.
Yeah. So obviously you're very famous for your commercials. Did it take time for that to be successful, or did it just kind of happen right away?
Well, I used to grow up in Dallas watching this guy named Art Grindler. He was a crazy guy, had used car lots. He'd jump up and down on top of the hood of the car and say, I want to sell you a car. So I figured if I ever did commercials, I'd do crazy the same way. And I've done more television commercials than anybody in history, and they're all bad, but they make the point.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously they work because... But
repetition helps.
Yeah. So was that... I guess what I'm trying to ask is that was the commercials a part of like what's the word?
The grand plan?
Yes, the grand plan.
No,
No?
just something I was doing to get people in here, and I learned how to do commercials from some guys down at Channel 39 way back in '82 and '83, and I I got a gift of gab, so I get up there and talk real fast, and people listen, and they come out, and now a lot of people have been watching me do this crazy stuff for 40 years, so it seems to work.
Okay. So
Knock on wood.
so I think a lot of people now are afraid to make mistakes. And so is there a specific mistake?
Fail forward fast. Fail forward fast. How many times did Abe Lincoln fail before he became president of the United States?
Many.
Look it up. Google it. See how many times he failed. Fail forward fast. The person who never failed never tried anything. You learn more from failure than you do from success every day of the week. And this shielding these kids from failure. Oh, we got a 10-run rule in Little League. Let them get the hell beat out of them. And then all of a sudden we'll play a little harder next time.
Yes. So what's the biggest business lesson you've learned from a mistake?
Biggest business lesson is follow trends.
Okay.
Trends. Find out where the trends are. You know, we're always looking for trends in furniture. Is this dark color going to be better? Is the light color coming in? What's this? What that? And if we get ahead of the trends, we win. If we're behind the trends, you're dead loser, because the trends don't last long. They peak out. So learn how to read trends. And a lot of that does with reading a lot, observing a lot, and being cognizant of what the market's doing, what the competitor's doing, et cetera.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, how do you know what the trends are, and how do you plan ahead?
You watch and you study, and then you see. A big trend is we got on top of the Tempur-Pedic trend way back in 2005 when they were just getting started, and we rode that for a long time, very successful with that. So there's a lot of trends. The Made in America trend, after all of us geniuses offshored everything in the early 2000s and outsourced all the manufacturing in the United States, which basically really hurt the country and started a giant oxycodone and fentanyl epidemic. How'd that work out for us? Not too good. So we're on the Made in America trend now. It's very good.
So looking back at your younger self, was there a part of you that needed the most growth, like a specific part of you, or was it just all around?
Need the most growth?
Yes.
Probably the one that needed the most growth was don't be so impetuous, and compulsive, and reactionary. But I didn't learn that lesson well. I'm still doing it.
Yes.
And I'm making no apologies.
So is there a decision that you're most proud of that has nothing to do with money?
Marrying my lovely wife.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a superstar. She is beyond the superstar. She works harder than I am. She's 10 times smarter than me, and she keeps me out of trouble, so God bless her.
Yeah.
She won't let me gamble enough, though.
So I grew up at West Side, so I know she's there
yeah,
all the
there you go,
time.
yeah.
I was fortunate enough to spend, I think, a weekend at your lake house.
Did you?
Lost my first tooth there.
There you go.
Like, so obviously I've known a lot about you, so to be able to do this with you is such an honor for me. And
Other way around.
thank you so much. So like I said, that I'm starting.
By the way, you're great at this. You ought to be a TV interviewer.
Thank you so much. I try,
I ought to replace some of those pundits up there.
Thank you so much. So, like I said, I'm starting my own business, and I know you're a cap guy. So I wanted to give you this cap.
Good.
Just, if you like it, wear it. If you don't, toss it out, whatever.
Good. Thank you. It's very nice of you, Johann.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes. So once again, thank you so much for doing this.
Hey, I'll give you some advice for your new business. You ready?
Yes. You need some help?
This is very profound advice. Here it is. Late to bed, early to rise, work like hell, and advertise.
Okay. So I also play basketball, and I have 6 a.m. practice every morning.
Uh-huh.
And so
That's too early for me.
well,
Is that at Straight?
at Strake, and then also at
You play AAU?
I do play
Do you?
AAU.
Good for you.
Yes.
Are the Spurs gonna win?
I don't know if New York takes one more. I don't think.
So what position you play?
I've always been a guard, and then I became 6'5", and so now I kind of play guard and forward.
Good
so,
for you.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to be able to kind of do a lot.
You play Straight?
I do play at Strake, yes.
Are you gonna play in college?
I'm looking to play in college. I might have some opportunities, but I'm just like going through it day by day.
I'm a big supporter of Coach Sampson in U of H.
Really?
Yeah, he's a great guy, and really, uh, he's a taskmaster. He works those kids very hard, but he makes them better.
Mhm.
The whole idea is to get better.
Yeah, obviously, U of H is my team for March Madness every year, so it's heartbreaking. But so I guess another question is like, how did you find a way to integrate sports into what you do?
Oh, I've always been a sports fan and played football in college, that sort of thing. So it's very topical. Again, we integrate the sports when the Astros are hot or
Right.
some the Rockets are hot or whoever. So thinking about doing something in the World Cup, but the tickets are too expensive for me.
Yep. So, yeah, thank you so much. This was
Thanks.
great.
You're great. You did a good
Thank you
job,
so
young
much.
man. Proud of you.